Interesting facts about Romania. Romania is a hidden gem, located in southeastern Europe. Full of history and culture, the country's capital, Bucharest, is even called Little Paris. Curious about this developing country? Here are 14 interesting facts about Romania. The name Romania comes from the Latin word Romanus, which means citizen of the Roman Empire. The Parliament Palace in Romania's capital of Bucharest is the second largest building in the world, behind only the Pentagon. The building is 84 meters high. It is also the heaviest building in the world. Bucharest is also called Little Paris. The city's Arc de Triomphe was constructed in 1935 to be modeled after the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. According to legend, Bucharest was named after a shepherd called Buca, who was in love with a young lady named Dambovica, like the river that flows through the city. Calea Victoriae was the first road built in Bucharest, and initially called the Wooden Road. Why? Because it was paved with tree trunks and planks. The Memorial of Rebirth monument celebrates the struggles and victims of the Romanian Revolution of 1989, which overthrew communism. Romania's 22,298 kilometers rail network is the 15th most extensive in the world. Bucharest's mass transit network is the 4th largest in Europe. Francesco Illy, the founder of Illichiv, was born in Timisoara, Romania in 1892. He also invented the first automatic steam espresso coffee machine. Romania is home to 4 Nobel Prize laureates: George Emil Palade, Medicine; Elie Wiesel, Peace; Herta Müller, Literature; and Stefan Hell, Chemistry. Pele's castle in Sinaia was the first European castle entirely lit by electrical current. The electricity was produced by the castle's own plant, and its central heating system, built in 1888, is still functional and in use today. In 1889, Timisoara became the first in Europe to have electric street lighting. The tallest wooden church in the world, and the second tallest wooden structure in Europe, is found in Sapantapiri, Maramureș of northwestern Romania. The 257-foot tall church is topped by a 23-foot cross that weighs 1,000 pounds. The first ever perfect 10 awarded in the Olympic Games went to Romanian gymnast Nadia Comaneci for her performance on the uneven bars in Montreal, Canada in 1976. The Romanian language is 1,700 years old. The earliest Homo sapiens fossils, up to now, were discovered in 2002 in southwestern Romania, in the Cave of Bones. The fossil's age is estimated at 37,800 to 42,000 years old. Unusual attractions in Romania. Corvin Castle. This fairy tale castle would make Dracula, who is said to have been imprisoned there, jealous. Baiga Waterfall. Moss and stone turned this waterfall into an otherworldly liquid veil. Selina Turda. This massive underground salt mine now holds a sci-fi theme park in its depths. Hoia Baciu Forest. Some call this eerie forest of crooked trees the Bermuda Triangle of Romania. Pele Castle. This elaborately decorated, fairy-tale-like Romanian royal palace is one of the most striking castles in Europe. Bran Castle. The possible imprisonment of Vlad the Impaler here earned the medieval castle its nickname, Dracula's Castle. The Murray Cemetery. A small-town Romanian cemetery filled with darkly humorous gravestones. Snagov Monastery. This solitary monastery may hold the remains of Vlad the Impaler. The Mountain Sphinx. Conspiracy theories and occult legends surround this mysterious natural rock formation. Decibel's Head. A giant portrait of an ancient king looms over the river. The Cinco Temple Cave. No one knows who built this strange cave of worship or exactly why. Raporoe. Romania's Red Ravine is a little-known natural wonder that bears a resemblance to the Grand Canyon. Curtea Vech, Old Princely Court. The bust of Romania's most notorious ruler, Vlad Dracula Arc of Vlad the Impaler, keeps watch over the ruins of his medieval court. Densu Church. One of the oldest churches in Romania, is believed to have been built on the site of a pagan temple. Burka Mud Volcanoes. A muddy alien landscape that is home to rare species of exotic plants. Germana, Romania. Even drowned in an ocean of toxic waste, the remnants of this Romanian village stand tall. Relics of Zed El Tari Church. The preserved arm of a 3rd century sorcerer is believed to have the power to lift curses and spells. Zoological Museum. The Natural History Museum that time forgot. Stradas 4E, Rogue Street. This snug medieval lane is one of the narrowest streets in the world. Sibiu's houses with eyes. Something's watching you. Lacul Sfântă Romania's only crater lake with water as pure as if distilled. Bear's Cave. This bone-filled cave got its name after they found 140 bear skeletons inside. Romanian Kitsch Museum. a celebration of all things tacky, garish, and bizarrely creative in the Romanian capital. Museum of Pharmacy. Known as the Hintz House, this medieval pharmacy has been an apothecary's haven for nearly 450 years. Transylvania's Hollywood signs. The European towns of Brașov and Ranov each have proud signs reminiscent of the Hollywood sign. Biserica, the Black Church. A fire once nearly devoured this gorgeous 14th-century Gothic cathedral. Museum of the Communist Consumer. A collection of items from a way of life that no longer exists. Palace of the Parliament. This communist behemoth is the heaviest building in the world and a legacy of a brutal regime. Selina Parade. Gigantic Romanian salt mines used to heal respiratory conditions. Pharmacy Museum of Sibiu. A stunning 18th-century pharmacy and medieval chemists' collection. Dăvdana Penitentiary. This enormous abandoned prison was once dubbed the Bastille of Romania. Viscary Fortified Church. A medieval church built up to defend its village. Towers of Siora. 9 centuries-old fortresses guard the walls of this medieval Romanian city. One Wood Monastery. A Romanian church built from one single oak. Arcul de Triumph. Romania's triumphal arch looks out over Bucharest. Dimitri Leonida Technical Museum. Check out engineering marvels of the past at this unintentionally retrofuturist museum. Kavnik Gravity Hill. A spooky spot along the road where things mysteriously seem to move uphill by themselves. Iulia Hastu Castle. This eccentric folly house was designed by Romanian thinker Bogdan Petrasicu Hastu, with a helping hand from his deceased daughter's spirit. Trovants of Căstești, Romania. The Growing Stones of Romania. Cara Monastery. Climbing to the top of the cathedral's bell tower offers sweeping views of these medieval ruins. Siora Saxon Cemetery. This hauntingly beautiful cemetery outside a medieval citadel is full of winding paths and ivy-covered graves. The August von Spieß Museum of Hunting. Packed to the ceiling with antique taxidermy and hunting arms. Sarmazegetu. Once the legendary capital of the Dacian kingdom, this city has been reduced to mere ruins. Prometheus statue at Vidraru Dam. The ancient Greek titan guards this massive dam holding a lightning bolt to symbolize electricity. Memorial of the victims of communism and of the resistance. A memorial museum to the political prisoners who were held at Sight Prison, once one of the most feared places in Romania. St. Michael's Church. This Transylvanian church has changed its denomination 4 times. Round Church of Gheorghiu. This 11th-century structure is one of the oldest churches in Romania. Herezu Monastery. Religious structure known for its sculpted details. Mogo-Oia Palace. 17th-century palace once a meeting place for politicians. Memorial of Rebirth. This memorial to the victims of the Romanian Revolution of 1989 is often compared to a potato on a skewer. Musée Michel Paris, Little Paris Museum. This museum offers a journey back to the Belle Epoque era of Romania. Castle of Magyarast. Home of the first female Hungarian poet, where her secret writing lay hidden for over a century. Flooded village of Bizidu Nu. This Romanian village may have been drowned, but it is long from forgotten. Trajan and Wolf statue. One of the most controversial statues in Romania is an emperor with no clothes. Stay tuned for more interesting facts about other countries.